Hello, thanks so much for joining me. Today, I'd like to tell you about the forgiveness letter, a therapeutic tool. Now, the forgiveness letter is a clinically validated therapeutic tool. It demonstrates efficacy for trauma recovery and emotional healing. There's a lot of research that shows its effectiveness in reducing negative psychological symptoms and promoting psychological well being once it is implemented appropriately. Now, why did I choose this tool? About 14 years ago, I was given the opportunity to teach the art and science of happiness at the undergraduate level. Students had to take this course in order to complete their program of study, and they had to pass. Forgiveness was one of the modules, and the assignment was the forgiveness letter. I will never forget how many of those students came to me after class, after the class had ended, to tell me how much of a difference it made in their lives. And of course, from then, I decided I'm going to be using this with my clients, and I've seen very similar results. So this letter is pretty simple in the steps that you follow to write it. What is challenging is for the client to be able to face the difficult things they will have to face to write it. So, first, the client identifies their emotions that are painful. They think about who hurt them, what happened, who was involved, what did it feel like. That's when they get to vent their feelings. Now, clients oftentimes feel very cagey about expressing completely how they felt, how much hurt they felt, and being very articulate about it. But I encourage them, get it out. Imagine that you will have no consequence at all if you tell them exactly how you felt, exactly how they made you feel, because you're not going to give this letter to that person, only to me, and we will get to talk about it. Then the client needs to be willing at that point, having gotten all those painful feelings expressed, to be able to let that pain go and forgive the client. It's so important that that decision is made and that it is sincere for them to make the next step to healing. Now, this is the type of issue that clients come with that can benefit from this tool. Any kind of childhood trauma or abuse, as you can imagine, there's complex grief, especially whenever someone is angry towards someone who's already deceased, if you can imagine. That can be really complicated. Interpersonal trauma is assumed. Then there are those very close, intimate relationships, including with spiritual leaders and oftentimes with God, that persons need to be able to be honest about so that they can let go painful feelings. And of course, we can't forget a lot of times persons need to forgive themselves as well. Now, what are the prerequisites to implement this tool? Well, the most important one is a trusting, strong therapeutic alliance. The client must feel safety and security with you. They must feel like they can share their deepest, darkest secrets and pain with you without judgment, and to receive a lot of support and a lot of love and understanding. And this will be necessary to be built up over time. So this is not the kind of tool that you use with a client who you've seen a couple times. You need to develop a relationship that's trusting with them. Sometimes it will take years. Then we will look at what to expect. Of course, as you can imagine, depression, anxiety, and anger will probably reduce. Self-esteem and personal empowerment will probably increase. Increased spiritual well-being and sense of meaning is really a significant outcome. And they just tend to become a lot more resilient. And I've seen this happen over these 14 years that I've used this tool. So as we said before, just to remember, client must have a safe relationship, safe, trusting relationship with you, and they must be genuinely ready to go through this process. Please do not use this with clients if there's active substance abuse, they're mentally very unstable, they're around the person who has hurt them, and that there is continuing abuse or hurt that they're experiencing, and especially if there are any dissociative symptoms that are not stabilized. In conclusion, the forgiveness letter intervention is a powerful therapeutic tool. It requires skilled clinical judgment. It should be individualized for each client's unique circumstances. Don't forget their cultural background and the goals that they came to you with. Also, careful attention must be paid to the timing of the implementation and to the client's autonomy throughout this process. I have included some research articles here for you, which will provide you with a wealth of information about forgiveness, forgiveness therapy, and the positive results that you can see with clients when you utilize it. Thank you so much for joining me again today.